All right. So let me quickly share my screen. I hope you guys can see my screen. Let me quickly go to the account. So on that day, I think so far we have learned three AWS services: EC2, S3, and RDS. Today we will see one more service, that is Serverless Lambda, and then IAM service, and then we will jump on to Terraform. Okay. So as we all know that to create if we need an application to be deployed on AWS, we have one option that we can use EC2, where we have to create a server, we need to deploy our code, and then our application will be up and running. If you don't want to manage the server on AWS, there is a serverless service available called AWS Lambda. There you just need to bring your code and you can deploy your code to that Lambda function, and all the server related requirement will be managed by AWS. What are the service related requirement? Like CPU, RAM, storage, everything will be managed by AWS. You just focus on your code, you just deploy. It's like give the AWS the code and AWS will manage it, the behind servers and everything. Okay, so to access that service, just type here Lambda, run code without thinking about servers. So that's the description of this service. So let me open the Lambda. So right now you see I have three Lambdas here. That's fine. Okay, we will create our new Lambda function. So to create a Lambda function, you just hit on this create function button. Now here when you click on this, you will have three options: create from scratch, use a blueprint, or container image. From scratch means you have to define your function name, the runtime, the architecture, and everything. In the blueprint, there are some basic use cases are already built by AWS, so you can use them. For example, say let's say I need to make an update to some DynamoDB table, so I can use this one. So all these are, let's say I have to make an HTTPS request or a hello world function. Whatever you want, you can select no a blueprint from here. Blueprint basically means uh, a reusable Lambda function created by AWS itself. Okay, for your use case, and then you can container image. So in the first option, if you see, I need to provide my runtime and I need to provide the architecture and everything. But instead that if you already have your Docker image that has everything like the code and the dependencies and everything, it has it, then you can use your container image to run the Lambda function. Okay. So I don't want to go this. I will go with this first, this one. So here, let me give it a name. Okay. Here, runtime means what kind of code you want to deploy here. That's it. It supports almost all modern languages like Java, .NET, Python, Ruby, and if you have a specific version of your language, you can also choose it from here. For now, I'm going to use Python 3.11. Okay. Execution role. Here, I will select this option, create a new role with basic Lambda permission. What this will do? It will automatically create an IAM role that is required by Lambda function. Now, what is this execution role? So, when you work with Lambda function will need permission to work with certain services. Let's say it need to connect to database, or it need to connect to EC2, or it need to connect to S3. So, in that role, you can give all those permissions so that Lambda will be allowed to communicate to those other services. In the additional configuration, no need. Okay, that's fine. So yeah, I just given my Lambda function a name and I have selected the runtime. That's all. Only two things you need to provide. And as soon as I create it, it will create a function. All right. So you see, my Lambda function is ready, and very soon we will see something here, a Python file, Lambda function.py. Yes. So right now this is a very basic Lambda function. Now you can either write your code here itself, or if you have your code somewhere, you can copy and paste it here, and after pasting, you can deploy it. So once you made some changes, let's say as soon as you made some changes, you have to deploy your changes. Now, okay, so this is my Lambda function. Now let's see how I can run this. So to run your Lambda function, there is a test option. This is for testing purpose. I need to create a test event. I will say test. If your Lambda function expects some input, you can provide the input here in JSON format. But my Lambda does not expect anything, so if you provide it or not, that doesn't matter. So I will simply click on test, and you see it's green. It means your Lambda function executed successfully. As soon as you see details, I will see body hello from Lambda. It means my code is working fine. That is what exactly written here. Let's say I can add some print statement. Okay, so I just put here print statement. Whatever logic you want to write, you can write here. As I made some changes, I need to deploy it. Updating my Lambda function. Yes, now it's updated. Now I can test it. I will click on hit on test again. And if I click on detail, okay, if you go to bottom, here it will show you only the what you are returning from your Lambda function. But if you go to bottom, you will see all the statements that are getting executed. So if you see started DevOps net batch Lambda, that's the print statement. Now, as soon as I click hit button, the test button, my previous test event is gone. So if you want to see all of your, Lambda invocations, you can click on this log button. What is this? This is basically a CloudWatch service where all of your invocation will be saved in a log group. So as soon as I click on here, I can see there are two log streams. The how many number of time you hit your Lambda function, each will create a log stream here. So here you can debug your Lambda function, what is happening, why it's not working, or something like that. Okay, and if there is something wrong, you will get some syntax error. Let's say I'm trying to deploy it. I missed a parenthesis here, and now if I go and test it, first of all it will fail here itself. Error message syntax error. Now if I go to CloudWatch and if I refresh it, see there is a new log stream available newly. This is the latest one. And if I go inside it, it's saying error. Syntax in module Lambda function. This was never closed. Okay, you can expand it to see the detailed error. Where task Lambda line number 5. So that's how you can debug it. Line number 5, and I can do it like this. And now it will pass. Yes. Okay, now it's successful. So yeah, that's how you can create a Lambda function. You can upload your code and you can test your code. Now every time, see, the Lambda function will not be triggered from here manually. This is just for testing purpose. But the actual process will be, let's say, if you guys, let's say you are working in the IT industry, so you may be knowing what is Cron or what is batch jobs or scheduled jobs. Let's say you are working in a banking application, and every day at midnight you want to send a message to all of your customer regarding their balance amount. Okay, let's take a use case. So in that case, you will write the Lambda function that will have logic to get the customer balance and send email or message. But how you will trigger it at every day midnight? Nobody is gonna come and click on this manual button at midnight. So you can add a trigger on your Lambda function. The trigger basically means how you want to trigger your Lambda function. This trigger can be happen from any service, So let's say the Lambda can be integrated with variety of services. So let's say for another use case, let's say in S3 bucket, I want to say that whenever someone uploads a file to S3 bucket, I will trigger this Lambda function. Okay, so let's say I will select one of the bucket and on what event. So it's currently saying why all event, but you can select particular event. I will say only put event, so that whenever someone is uploading new file to this bucket, it will trigger the Lambda function. So based on that, you can trigger a Lambda function. So that is S3 service. You can also trigger on some other services, let's say DynamoDB, so that if and it also supports some other third-party integrations. Let's say this Clever Tap or Datadog. Based on Datadog alerts, you can trigger Lambda function. So there are numerous integrations available. Okay, but for now, I will add a cron rule to trigger it in every 5 minutes. So I will go to EventBridge. Now I will create a new rule. The rule name is trigger Lambda every 3 minutes. Rule description is fine. Now here I need to provide a cron expression. So I will quickly ask ChatGPT about it. Hey, as you join late, so there will be 5 or 6 minutes early we started. So you can please refer the recording. Okay. So this is the cron syntax that we can use to trigger the Lambda in every 3 minutes. I will go and I will put here. That's all. And click on add. Now if you see, it will have a trigger and the configurations, it won't show. Okay, if you click on this trigger option, it will show there is a trigger and that will this rule is applied. Now let's wait for 2-3 minutes and we will see here a new stream will come. Okay, this came these are the old logs. Now let's wait for 3 minutes and it should automatically come a new log stream. rule is enabled, so it should trigger it. Let me go inside it. If something is wrong, why it's not triggering?
Is that question mark correct?
Yeah, looks like I just simply copied from here only. Runs at minute 3, 6 minutes every hour, every 3 minutes. Or simply use a rate expression rate 3 minutes. Okay,
Okay.
let's use this.
Make it 1 minute then. It might take
Yeah,
longer.
let me. I made it to 2 minutes. Let's see, it should now also update here. As soon as I update it, wait 2 minutes. Wait 3 minutes. So 2 minutes, so it should trigger in every 2 minutes. Okay, meanwhile that is running, I will explain you the other things. So the code part you are aware, here you can update your code of the Lambda function. Okay, if you want to create a new file, you can create a new file, new folder, whatever. You can create it from here. It also has some things called run and debug extensions, whatever. You can search from here, and from here you can test it. And from here, yeah, this is the monitoring tab. Here you can monitor your Lambda function. Not sure you're not triggering it. You can leave it. So yeah, from here you can see uh, there are certain metrics available for Lambda function like the invocations, duration, how many time Lambda got successful, how many time it got failed. Okay, many things. So let's say in the invocation you can expand it, and you can here see at what time your Lambda got invocated. You will get the time. Okay, if you want to check the previous one or anything, you can choose a custom time frame, and based on that you can see the Lambda invocations, duration, how long Lambda took for the invocation, that you can see. So for example, actually this data in the millisecond. And one thing about Lambda function is, in Lambda function you will be charged for every seconds. Let's say if your Lambda function is running for 2 minutes, then you have to pay for 2 minutes. And the maximum timeout on Lambda should be 15 minutes. Means you cannot write a code that is taking more than 15 minutes. Okay, from here you can see the error counts. If you remember, I made some, I intentionally added some no mistakes. So here it shows the error count. The error count spiked to here, and now it reduced. So yeah, all those things you can monitor from here. I don't think that it has it triggered again. Nope, somehow it is not triggering it. I'm not sure. Okay, and under configurations, yes. Here you can see the trigger. Let me ask here. Raising of some permissions. If I go to permissions, yeah, it already added the Lambda invoke. Lambda invoke resource, source and trigger Lambda things. Yeah, okay, that's fine. I will check it. This permission is already there, so it should work it, but somehow not sure why it's not working. Trigger option. Let me try to run it manually and let's see if after that it starts. Now we'll have one more log stream. Oh, even we don't have. Am I checking the right one? Yeah, I think it's triggering and everything is coming into this.
Or we can remove the existing one and wait for the new one. That's what we can try, like.
No, I think it is triggering. See, it's in the logs. If I go to logs, let me see where it is pointing. It's pointing directly to the logs. Last list triggered on 2118 means 918. It's now 931. I think you know what is happening. The logs, it is triggering, but the log streams are going to somewhere else. Hmm. Let me remove all the log streams. Now I will trigger it again. Change. Yeah, see, now it came. Even I will remove it and I will explain you the other things and we'll wait until it triggers automatically. Okay. Yes, I will explain these configurations. So yeah, this trigger option, you can add triggers and you can add multiple triggers for Lambda function. Not only this, like, okay, you want one more trigger for S3 bucket, one more trigger for DynamoDB. So you can add as many as trigger and they all will work as per their configurations. So these permissions, so as I mentioned that the Lambda already has a role attached to it. When you open it, if you want this Lambda bucket permission so that it can communicate to S3 bucket, you can add the permissions from here. Let's say I want to attach a policy for S3. So I can type S3 and I can, let's say, have this bucket. This will give a Lambda bucket, Lambda full access for S3 bucket. If you want to EC2, you can have EC2. Similarly, whatever service access you want to give to the Lambda function, you can give. By default, if you see, the Lambda function has access on CloudWatch Logs, put log event. So due to this only, Lambda function is able to push logs to here. Yeah, if you see here, the new log stream came. So that is not triggered manually. That is coming from trigger. Correct? Because I removed last time everything. So yeah, that proves that our trigger is also working. Next is destination. Yeah, from here you can create a function URL for your Lambda function. What does that mean? Because so that you can create a Lambda function, and with that URL, you can use your Lambda function to be triggered by any code itself. Let's say it will give you a HTTPS based URL, and you want to run that URL from your code or something, So that also you can generate a URL from here.
One
Environment
question is
variable.
that,
Yes, please.
yeah, when I'm creating URL, so do I need to provide SSL as well?
It will automatically have. Let me try to create one. Only none. So there are two options. You can give. One is only authenticated user will be able to trigger that URL, or you can give none. Lambda won't perform any IAM authentication. It means anybody will be able to uh, trigger it. So I will save it,
Okay,
and yeah, this is my Lambda URL. Now if I hit it, copy it,
okay. So means it will provide AWS based URL.
yeah, it will have their some random bad URL. It's not a good looking URL, but yeah, you will have it. Let's see if you have to trigger it from your code, so you can use this. Okay, see, I'm getting that
Okay,
response.
okay. So if I want to change the URL, so does it allow me to configure my own
I
own
don't
URL?
think so. I don't think so. Let me see addition settings. No, we will not have that liberty because we don't use Lambda for any front-end related activity and all. So yeah, that will never be any use case.
So what is the reason to you create Lambda function then?
The reason is, let's say, you have let's say you have a Java code or whatever that is running somewhere else, and from
Mm-hmm.
there you want to trigger this Lambda function. So you don't have any option. If you use this URL, you can use this URL and you can put this in your code, and by using any HTTPS request, you can trigger this programmatically, because you will not have this button you can only use when you are logged into it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you want to trigger it from your code, then you need something. Let's say I need okay, it's something like this. I need to, let's say, ping a URL, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I need that URL to ping it. So similarly, it will give you a URL so that you can trigger your Lambda function programmatically.
Or we can use to trigger it from any particular dashboard like using a BI tool, correct?
Anywhere, yes. So that URL, you give you that option, so that it can be triggered from anywhere.
If in case I have created multiple function for multiple URL, but
No,
how
you
can I
can create
differentiate it?
multiple URLs. You can only create one URL for one Lambda function.
Okay, one function, one URL only.
Yes.
Okay, and one function can have multiple files for multiple
Code,
operations.
that totally depends on your code, what logic you are putting here.
Okay.
Maybe, yeah, okay. So when we trigger a URL, let's say in your code, you can specify, because how you will get to know that, let's say you are creating a basic application to create, update, delete operation, right? So you
Mm-hmm.
will expect something, that what parameter you are getting. So you can set some
Hmm.
parameter, and whenever that URL is getting triggered, you can send some payload along with the URL, that
Hmm.
operation type. Yeah, as a developer, I
Like a
think.
post,
Hmm.
put over post request.
Correct. Get post, yeah, whatever, yeah. So along with this, you can send those. I'm not that developer guy, so maybe I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah,
Hmm.
it's quite similar to the API, a particular
Exactly.
small
Yes.
API.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, but its purpose to manage server particular event.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yes. So I don't need it. I will remove it. Okay. And environment variable, if you want to use some environment variable within your code, you can define those environment variable here, and they can be used in the code. Okay. Tags, if you want to attach some tags are nothing, just useful information, like for which project it is created, which team is using it, what is cost center for which application. All those information you can provide in the tags. And tags are basically common to all the AWS services, be it S3, EC2, whatever. If you want to connect your Lambda function to VPC, you can configure here, and you can attach a VPC to your Lambda function. Okay. That is required when you are connecting databases to your the Lambda, because sometimes what happens, your database is in a VPC, so you need to attach that same VPC to your Lambda function, so that Lambda function and database can communicate. There is a dedicated section where you can connect a database to your Lambda function. When a function is not connected to VPC, the following table will be empty. You can configure. Okay, as soon as you connect VPC to Lambda function, you will be able to see all the databases available actually in that VPC. Okay, monitoring is the same thing that we just saw. And this is from here you can see the log groups, code signing. I'm not aware. File system. Yeah, you can connect any file system. Not sure how. Okay, it require VPC. Okay, so these are advanced levels of configurations. Code signing. So if you know that in GitHub also we use something called code sign or something to validate who made those changes. Create a condition that you can attach to one or more functions to enable code signing. With code signing, you can ensure that the code has been signed by an approved source. That will make sure who is modifying the code or something. Yeah, and each time you can also create versions for a Lambda function. Let's say in one version I have hello world, in second version I will have hello earth. So you can publish a new version, no description, and publish. Now new version is created. In that version you can have a separate code, but that code will be only be available in that version hello from. Okay, I can't change it from here because okay, the version is already published. But yeah, so I can do one thing. Let's say in my version 1 it was showing hello from Lambda, but now I will change it. I will deploy it, and now I will go to version. I will publish another version. I will say name it v2. Okay, now I have two versions of Lambdas. Now, if I test my so by default, the latest version will be applied. So as soon as you test, the output you are getting is hello from V2 Lambda. But now you want to use your previous version that has a different code. You can go to your previous version, and from here you can run it. Hello from Lambda. So yeah, you can also version control your Lambda with the versions. I hope that helps, guys. aliases. Okay, you can create a alias to point to a specific version. So I can create a alias. Let's say my prod Lambda. I can name it, and I can select which version will be attached to it. I will say V2. Yeah, so from here you can see you can also create weighted, like how much percent of weight a request should go to this alias, how much should go to any different alias. Yeah. Any question here, guys?
No, not from me.
Okay. So yeah, that's pretty much all about Lambda function. If you don't have any more questions, I will destroy that. And so far we have not covered the IAM service, correct?
Yes,
We have not covered this, right?
yeah, it's remain.
Okay, so it's pending. And also Terraform, do we have covered Terraform? No, right?
Actually started, but I think two sessions it's completed, but
Mm-hmm.
not complete, not
Okay, okay, then I think I will cover
entire sessions.
Terraform along with, because Terraform can help us to create all these things, Instead of creating Lambda function S3 bucket manually, we can use Terraform to create all those things. So yeah,
Okay, better.
that also we can cover. Okay, so for now, I think I have few more minutes left. Okay, let's quickly talk about AWS CLI. So far we know that you can work on your AWS account via this management console. This is a graphical interface where you have buttons, forms that allow you to interact with AWS. But AWS also has something called AWS CLI. What is AWS CLI? That is a command line interface that allow you to communicate with your AWS services. So by default, AWS has this cloud shell, and here we can run the commands. Okay, it's something it somehow work like this. So for example, let's say, and also like guys, this CLI will can also work on your own terminal. From here also you can connect to your AWS account. You will need a user and role, so that I will cover when we go to IAM. But yeah, command wise it's same. The same command, whatever you are working here. Once you have established connection from your local system to AWS, the command will be exactly similar. Okay, so what is the command structure? So it's AWS and the service name. So there are lots of services in AWS like EC2, S3, IAM, Lambda, RDS. So AWS space service name and what action you want to perform on that service. Okay. So I'm saying AWS S3 LS. It means it will list out all S3 buckets. Okay. If I need to create a bucket, AWS S3 MB for make bucket, and then the bucket name. Whatever name you will provide, it will create a bucket with this name. So you don't need to remember these commands. There is a reference AWS CLI. You can go to command reference. Yes, so this is a command reference for each and every service. You see there are lots of services available. Let's say I will particularly go to S3 to S3, and here you can see all of the available commands. So AWS S3 LS, RB for I think remove bucket, MB for make bucket, sync, and in the bottom available. Okay, in that you can see all these commands are available. Let's say I will go for LS. So it's saying, so how to write the command? AWS space S3 space the command. That will make your entire command, and it will list S3 object and common prefix under a prefix or all S3 buckets. Not that output and no this. Okay, and these are all of the options available with this command. And this is the meaning of the options. And in the bottom, you will get some examples. Let's say AWS S3 LS listing all user owned bucket. This will list all of the bucket, list all prefix and objects in a bucket. If you provide like this AWS S3 LS and your bucket name, it will print out all of the buckets, all of the objects in that bucket. And if you put like this AWS S3 LS with bucket name and recursive, so that will, because in a bucket there could be lots of folder, right? So if you put recursive, it will show all the files available in all of the folders. Yeah, so all this you can read, and anyway nowadays no need to read because you can simply ask ChatGPT to give a S3 command. So let's say AWS S3 list all EC2 instances. If you give like this, it will give you uh, a command. So see, this is the command AWS EC2 describe instance, and as soon as I put it here, paste. Okay, see, it is giving me the output. Instance ID. There are lots of instances, so it is giving me like this. Or I can even give it more precisely. AWS to list all instance IDs only. Because when you run that command describe, it will give you every information about EC2 instances. There is right now no running instance, but even we have all state, yes. So even if it's stop state, but I should only focus on this. I should get this instance ID. So this command will give me, copy it. Although if you see, it has given us the detail, and to look for the instance ID, I need to go up and look. It has all the information about that instance. The volume ID and all. That's fine. Okay. You see in the bottom it was showing the instance ID, but now let me put the new command that will only give me the, okay, you see it is giving us the instance ID. So yeah, if if you sometimes, if you don't have access to connect with your AWS management console, you can also use AWS CLI to interact with AWS. And all the services support CLI, and it's not practical for everyone to remember all this command. So you can either use this reference, or if you have access to any AI agent, you can give them the requirement and the command will be generated. For example, if I don't have that chat GPT or any AI agent, I can go to the document, and from here also I can get the command. So let's say if I here describe instances, this is a command, and I can check some examples. AWS easy to describe instance, and if you give the instance ID, it will give you information to only for that particular instance ID. Yeah. Any question here, guys? That is also another way to interact with AWS CLI. Hello, and Abhay and Sagar, do we have any question?
No, I don't have.
Okay. Yeah, I think if you don't have, I think we are good, guys. Will the remaining things we can take up tomorrow. We'll start with the IAM, and along with that, we will cover Terraform. Yeah. All right, guys.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.